public lobby here. So Michelle's just finishing up, and she's going to monitor any chats if anyone drops in, says hello. And I have got this beautiful Lion. This is my favourite beer in Sri Lanka at the moment. It's a Lion Stout. Is anybody in? Just want to check the sound for me. Maybe let me know if it's like Guinness, but it's nice. Probably closer to maybe a Newcastle Brown Ale.
So there's 3 people watching.
Good day. Who's that? Cheers, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Gordon, how are you, man?
How are you, Gordon?
So, Gordon,
cheers.
You can tell by the thumbnail what's going on. Perhaps I've kind of given it away, but it's we've just decided, and I'll wait to just a few people drop in maybe before I discuss. Michelle, you're a little bit out of shot.
Am I? I can move.
No, I'll tilt. You wait there. Now let me tilt that, because I'm actually well in shot. You are.
That's better.
Well out of shot.
Eleni S. Good day, Eleni from Connecticut, USA.
Hi, Eleni.
Malika says hi, Steve.
Gordon, quickly, is the sound okay? Because we've just got the wireless mic connected rather in an unusual way.
Let's see. People are slowly dropping in.
Okay.
Unexpected live stream.
Yeah, it is. Because we're in Sri Lanka, we're having a ball here, there's lots going on, but we've decided to take up on an opportunity to take a tuk-tuk, our own tuk-tuk. So I'll be driving. Michelle's actually got a Sri Lankan license as well, so we've both got license. She had a little test drive of the tuk-tuk today.
It was okay.
Yeah, she was good.
A little bit more practice, but it's okay. Gordon says the sound is good.
Beautiful. Good. So we've got a tuk-tuk, and we're going to go on a tuk-tuk safari. This is not just a day in a tuk-tuk. We've got weeks in a tuk-tuk. So
Monica says hello from Sweden. Hello, Monica.
Monica, how are you? So that's going to be absolutely epic. We're going to make a really cool series touring around Sri Lanka. I'm going to be driving Michelle. We have a lot of fun with it. I just thought we'd do a live stream and tell everyone we're up to. And if any friends are watching here in Sri Lanka, we're going to be starting this weekend. We're going to be heading down. There'll be a few videos because we've been over to Kandy and Trincomalee. So there's a few videos to go up in the next 5 or 6 days that are not related to the Tuk-tuk series. But this weekend, we're going to start the Tuk-tuk series, filming it, but we're going to try and put it up as quickly as possible for you. So if anyone's here, they know anywhere we want to go and see, they've got a place they want us to visit, or maybe you've got a resort or a hotel you want to sort of get us to come and do some cooking in the hotel, or maybe on the beach, anything like that, any ideas, whatever you come up with, we're open to suggestions, because basically we haven't got a clue what we're doing. We just haven't got a clue what we're doing. We just decided we're going to roll with this. It just came, the opportunity came.
Only a couple of days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4 or 5 days maximum. Yeah. And we made a quick decision, thought this is a good opportunity for us to explore off the beaten track.
Melanie says, ooh, and Goonlab says, looking forward to it. And Sally says, hi Sally.
Sally.
And Football Management says, cheers from Kiev or Kyiv.
From Kiev. God. One thing I've learned from this whole episode is I've been saying chicken Kiev wrong.
Oh, all your life.
I've learned a few more things than that. So, I had a good drive today through Colombo, which was just if you've ever driven in Sri Lanka in the middle of Colombo, I've driven all the way through the streets to sort of,
That's an hour and a half driving from.
Yeah, so that may feature in a little video, a prelude to this series. But the series itself is going to be all about this tuk-tuk adventure, and we're going to be going all the way along the coast, down the south to Gaul and Marissa, and all the way along the coastline until we cut up. This is the plan. We haven't actually 100%.
You know us, it may change.
It's not written in stone. We're going to go up through the Yala National Park, where we're going to see elephants and cheetahs and buffalo and all sorts of cool stuff. Just Michelle and I. We're not with a film crew. We haven't got like a whole team with us. It's just the two of us. So if we get taken by a cheetah or mauled by an elephant, do let our family know in Australia. And monkeys is another thing we've got to watch out for. The monkeys.
So we're going up through Yala, up to maybe to Ella, Norelia, that way.
Yeah, get up. No, for sure. Yeah. And so we're going along the coastline, checking out all the beautiful beaches and resorts as much as we can on the coast. I mean, we haven't got infinite time, but we've got a fair amount of time. And we're going to try and film as much as and get some food content back into the channel. So I know you guys love to see the food, so we'll try and get some food content. I've already arranged with a beautiful lady down in the south of Sri Lanka. They're actually going to host us in a beautiful, beautiful bungalow or villa. I think it's a villa with a pool. They actually offered to host us there, which is beautiful, and I think we're going to be doing some cooking there. We're going to be learning a little bit about Sri Lankan cooking, so that's going to make at least an episode, and we're just going to just film the experience and share with you guys, because Sri Lanka is such a beautiful place, and the people here are friendly beyond any experience. They're some of the loveliest people in the world.
Gordon says cold and dull here in Northumberland. Sorry.
Can't help you there. Can't help you there. Hot. If it's any consolation to you at all, it's hot as hell here.
And because we're going in a tuk-tuk, so there'll be no air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
It will be
at least a couple of weeks of no air conditioning driving all around Sri Lanka. But we're really we're stoked. We're stoked for it. We're really looking forward to it. And I hope you guys are going to look forward to it. A lot of you have enjoyed the joggle walk where we walked the 2,000 kilometers in the UK. This is a much smaller adventure, but it's going to be kind of a little bit bizarre, I think.
Elaine says, love to see you cooking. Maybe Michelle can cook and you could monitor comments. I don't think so.
Michelle, you don't keep a dog and bark. Why would Michelle keep a husband and cook?
So, I've done my cooking when my children when our children were small growing up. I did all the cooking, and now he's taken over, and I love it.
Sorry, I've got a bit of peanut shell on my tooth. Well, if I said to Michelle, would you love to do the cooking, dear? She would say, well, yes, no. You're quite happy for me to cook, right?
I love it. It's great. And you like to cook.
And I'm the better cook anyway.
I tell him he is. So it keeps him happy. So.
Keeps me happy. She just sort of humours me and tells me I'm the better chef.
Oh, that's a lovely dish you cooked today, dear.
That's the way, guys and girls, if you want your men to cook better food for you, compliment them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't need that. I don't need that flannel though. I don't need that flannel.
No. You enjoy the cooking. You do like to cook.
I'm never happier than when I'm in the kitchen cooking. So yes. And Michelle and I work together. You see, I do the cooking, she does the washing up.
And I don't mind.
So yeah, I mean that's the big news. It's a bit of a come out of the blue. We didn't plan to do this when we came to Sri Lanka. The opportunity's come up with a wonderful company here, and I'll give you all the information details about them. They're a lovely, lovely young company full of really talented, sort of forward-thinking people. And between them and us, we're going to be trying to encourage people to come to Sri Lanka and have a holiday here. Even they're all in the news at the moment. It's all negative. It's all about the corruption and the demonstrations that are here, but I can tell you 100% it's safe here. The people are friendly, absolutely embracing. The cost of being here at the moment is a fraction of what it would cost in most countries in the world, and the food is great. The weather is very hot, so if you like hot, that's fine. If you don't like very hot, then go to Norway.
So I mean, if you come here and it is hot, but then you go into hotels and things, air conditioning. A lot of places are air conditioning. You can get out of the heat.
Yeah.
You can obviously swim in the sea, swim in the pools.
Yeah.
You just cool down. But when you go out and about, you do get hot. But that's part of the adventure.
I've actually ordered sushi. We're in a 5-star hotel at the moment called the Oberoi. That's cryptic, by the way.
Yes.
And we're actually here at the moment. I've ordered a sushi platter, which might be delivered while we're talking. We've come to a little quiet part of the hotel because there's a band playing up near the restaurant where we wanted to sit. There's a band who have kind of... No, we didn't plan to sit down here by the elevators in the servant quarters, but we've come down here because we sat in some beautiful, lovely chairs upstairs, and the band was playing. Literally, I couldn't even talk to Michelle. It was so loud.
It was lovely music, and it was
Great
nice,
music.
but we wouldn't have been able to have a conversation.
So how are you all? Questions? Roll in those questions. Anybody?
Says, I'm convinced since you completed the joggle, you're prepared for just about anything.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we are.
We just
Mind you,
us and see what happens.
driving that tuk-tuk today was quite something.
Yes. Well, because it was throwing you in the deep end. I mean, literally, you had a quick lesson, and then it was.
I was out there driving. I was driving in the streets of Colombo, and if you've seen any of my videos in Colombo, you know how dense. I've driven in Colombo before, right? But a tuk-tuk is a whole different kettle of fish. You're driving this tin can on wheels. That's actually more like a motorbike than it is a car. And you just got to be very aware of anything bigger than you. It takes right away. And I'm a fairly confident driver, so it doesn't.
Sitting in the back, relaxing while he drives.
She sat in the back doing her nails because I drive so well, you know. If you're in the back of my tuk-tuk, you can do your nails.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I don't know about the roads, though.
I glide over those roads.
Yeah. George said, hi from Melbourne, Australia. Mate, you're up late, George.
G'day, George. Yeah, you are. I mean, what time is it in Melbourne? Must be 3 or 4 in the morning.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah? Or maybe he's up early.
Maybe he's up early. This is true. It is morning. Mandy up there?
George, I've got a lovely...
Hello, Mandy.
Mandy, hello, sweetheart. I've got a lovely dark beer here. You won't appreciate that being in Melbourne. Actually, you might. Red Hill Breweries up on the Mornington Peninsula. No, out at Red Hill. Fantastic dark, one of the best dark, chocolatey, rich brown ales that you'll ever have. Red Hill Breweries. If you want to experience what I'm having, and possibly a little and some. No, I've got to be honest. Red Hill is better, but this.
There's a few in Melbourne. There's quite a lot of.
Not a lot of dark ales. Not a lot. I like a rich dark beer if I can. If you want to experience something really outstanding, Red Hill.
Gordon says it's
George, unless you know of any others, you probably most Melbonians drink that bloody lager.
Mandy says it's down the UK.
Yeah,
George
perfect.
says it's 1:43 a.m. So that's in Melbourne.
Okay, so George, you're not too bad. I'd be up at that time, George. You're forgiven. You can be up at that time, mate.
And Steve's Cooking says, now then, what have you guys been up to? I hope you're well.
Steve, I hope you've been following what we've been up to, mate. I know you've been on a couple of little. Were you on a couple of jollies just recently? My old mate Steve Dolby in Virginia, is it, Steve? Oh, I forget, man. Is it Virginia for Steve? He'll tell me in a minute. He's Yorkshire. He knows. But us Yorkshire lads, we don't have a lot of sense when it comes to remember anything.
But I can't remember.
Virginia.
He said that.
I said Georgia.
Come on, Steve. Put us out of our misery.
Steve, what we have been up to over the last 2 years, if you haven't been following it, we've walked from John O'Groats to Land's End. I went through our home part of the world, all through the Yorkshire Dales, 2,000 kilometres, man, with a backpack, wild camping from the top of England all the way down to the south. 3 months of that, Mexico. We haven't stood still.
So Steve's just been to
the big sea,
and he lives in Georgia.
That's right. I knew you were overseas on a beautiful holiday. I've seen some of your posts on Instagram. You're doing very well, mate. Yeah, superb. What time is it there, Steve?
And George says, what is the weather like over there, mate?
Bloody hot. I'm talking Aussie now to George. It's bloody hot, mate. Struth, it's hot. It's
about 30, between 31 and 34 most days.
64.
At 200%.
Yes. 64, and it's like I'm underwater. I need snorkel and goggles just to go out in the streets, right? It's super hot. No, it's topping about. It's probably similar to Queensland. No, it's not Queensland weather. It's much more humid than Queensland. Although if you go into the northern territories and get into some of the tropical areas, it's that sort of weather. Super hot, very humid, and it's almost equatorial. Sri Lanka is almost equatorial, so it's very close to the equator. So it's that sort of weather all year round, and it is the tropical storm season as well.
Monsoons are coming in, and yeah, particularly down south where we're going.
Yes, so we're in. Oh, and Steve, the big news. Big news.
He says, by the way, it says 11:46.
11:46 a.m. So the big news, Steve, is we've got ourselves a tuk-tuk. I've got myself a tuk-tuk, and over this weekend we're going to be starting a tuk-tuk adventure or safari. I haven't quite decided on the name. But some comments down there. What do we want? A tuk-tuk safari, tuk-tuk adventure, tuk-tuk bonanza, come up with some ideas for the name of the series. I've been working on an intro for it. It's going to be at least 20 episodes. Here's this beautiful man. I've got a little bit of food coming as well, Steve. So this young man is bringing me some. We're not meant to be eating down here.
But they've been very kind.
They've been very kind. You can put it here. It's okay. The camera won't. People don't mind at all.
Wow, look at that. Fantastic.
Gorgeous. Thank you, Stuti. Thank you, Stuti, and thank you for bringing it down, man. Thank you. We'll come up later on and enjoy the music. For now, we're chilling. So look, Steve, lovely plate of.
Not just Steve, everybody. George says it's very cold.
Yeah, not just Steve. Steve, bugger off, Steve. So I've got a little bit of wasabi in here. I've got some bit of tuna. Okay, I'm starving.
So Steve says, amazing, mate, that should be fun. I went on a few of them in Turkey. Tuk-tuks in Turkey.
Who?
Steve's cooking. Steve.
They haven't got tuk-tuks in Turkey, man. What are you on about?
Well, he said he went. I assume that's what he said.
Do we have tuk-tuks in Turkey? We've lived there for almost all of COVID. So
he says, amazing, that should be fun. I went on a few of them in Turkey.
No, he didn't.
That's what he's written.
What is he like? Were there tuk-tuks in Turkey? I don't think so.
I can't remember. Not on our street.
Steve was dreaming a little bit of. Oh, look at that bit of wasabi. No way I'm going to eat all that. But
You can have the wasabi.
a little tiny pinch of wasabi. A little bit of wasabi.
So George says the meal looks delicious. Now, Chandi.
Oh, there's some.
That right. It's a question for you. Listen.
Yes.
Hey, what do you feel about Sri Lanka? Is the country's economic crisis affecting you?
It is affecting us, but not as much as it's affecting locals. And I feel. Let me just come down here. Let me just squat down. I want to.
Let me so you can get nearer to the plate.
Let me just have a little taste. So I've got a beautiful piece of sushi rice here, a little bit of raw salmon, and
now I've got salt on the
no, because
it is a delicious plate of sushi.
Absolutely. And there's actually some just nice little pieces of salmon here as well. That I can, if I can get that fly away, I can just have.
Very kindly brought it down to us because, as we said,
we're not
going
meant
to sit in the restaurant upstairs, but they've got a live band and it's much too noisy.
We're not meant to be eating down here. Look.
Oh, so Steve said, I could be thinking of something. It was a taxi, but not a car. Well, this is a motorbike, but a car.
Steve knows what a tuk-tuk is, but he's having dreams if he thought he had a tuk-tuk in Turkey. He might have done.
Is that where they had the bikes, where they rode around on the bikes?
We were stuck there for 5 months, so we should know.
Yeah, but they didn't have tuk-tuks, not in Istanbul anyway.
No. The current crisis here, it's really hard for people at the moment. And we're very conscious. We were going to leave Sri Lanka and head off to some other places about 3 or 4 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we just decided that because there's no reason why we should, we don't have anywhere to get to. We don't have to leave Sri Lanka. And we just feel like we can be more useful here. So we extended our visa so that it's Okay, we've just got a little disconnect. How is the picture, by the way? Who is in? Michelle, do you want a little bit of... Let me just bring this up so Michelle...
We can't both eat at the same time.
Yeah, these are tiny morsels.
He's got the chopsticks, I just use my fingers. I go local.
Yeah, I can feed you. Try this bit of tuna.
I assume that the picture is good. Oh, that's delicious, that salmon.
Is the salmon delicious, yeah? Try the...
It's gone.
How is that? Fresh, local Sri Lankan tuna.
Delicious. George says the picture is good.
Oh,
So that's good.
that is gorgeous.
So no, we want to do the series, the Tuk-tuk series, and try and get lots of videos and maybe some stories and things a bit like the joggle, maybe.
So, well, not as complex as the joggle, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't take me 3 months to edit and nearly as long to even sort of go through the files.
Steve's cooking says, gotta go guys, nice talking to you, have fun and be safe. Bye,
Take care, Steve. Jump in the tuk-tuk. I'm sure they've got them in Virginia, Georgia.
Gunnar said, never had raw fish.
Never had raw fish.
Never had smoked salmon, that's raw.
Yes, it's delicious.
And George says, what time is
Gordon.
it over there? It is 9:23, George, in the evening.
So we were going to leave. We decided to stay. We thought we'd commit as long as we can. Try to support the local tourism industry here. I feel a little bit of an obligation. I love Sri Lanka. I love the people here, and I feel a bit of an obligation. And I don't need to, but I feel some sort of, while we can, get the word out to people, come to Sri Lanka. And
Because we're seeing, there's a lot of, like on the Facebooks and social media, people who said, oh, I've got a holiday booked to Sri Lanka, but I'm cancelling because of the troubles that are over there. But it's not really affecting the tourists that badly, is it? I don't think it's affecting the locals a lot more than it's affecting the tourists. And they need the tourists here to generate the revenue, don't they?
yeah, I mean, that sounds a bit mercenary, but realistically, it is going to affect you slightly. You know, you're going to have some power cuts, you're going to have some issues with fuel, but these are fairly minor issues for tourists to cope with, and in many ways we're pandered to a little bit more so than are the locals. Industry is such an important part of the economy here in Sri Lanka that they really embrace tourists when they come. Now, there's always going to be the odd, you know, in any country you go to, if you don't have some weird experiences, I'd be very surprised. But you get the overwhelming majority of the response we get here is super positive. So we thought, stay here. There's nothing not to like. Stay as long as we can, and then we'll go on another adventure when eventually we've run out of visas.
It's always the visa. So George says, I do wish you both a beautiful evening. Thank you, George.
Thank you, George.
And Gunnar said, did you enjoy being back in Oz?
It was great to see the family, and it was lovely to be back in Oz. I mean, to be honest, it's the best country in the world as far as I'm concerned. Gordon, it really is just one of the most beautiful countries, and it's great to be back there. But Michelle and I are travellers by design. It's in our blood. So just getting out the road. That was a bit. You had the bit of salmon.
Looks very nice.
Oh, good. Okay. Don't ask me.
So Sue John says, hi guys, sorry.
Sue John.
Had brain surgery in hospital for 6 weeks, now recovering.
Oh, sweetheart.
I hope you're feeling better, Sue.
Oh, that's. I would say that's horrible to hear, but it's what's nice to hear is that you're back out and you're on a path to recovery. Sorry. Yeah. Wow. What can I say? Well, Sue John, you know, the story is, after we saw the family back in Australia, we come to Sri Lanka. We're here now, clearly. We're in a 5-star hotel. We're not staying in this hotel. We come here because the food is wonderful and the service is fantastic. And also we have a little family connection here. So it's kind of, this is the place where my mother would come almost, I would say close to daily, but this was one of her favorite places to come when they lived in Sri Lanka.
And our children remember this hotel for
Yeah.
years, so it's a cool hotel.
So we love to come here. We love the staff here. We can't stay here all the time because hotels like this aren't expensive in Sri Lanka. If you're coming here, by all means, stay in these beautiful hotels. They're not expensive by European, American, Australian standards. They're not expensive. But imagine if you're here for, you know, a whole month, 2 months, 3 months, as Michelle and I often are, and you're paying sort of like a couple of $100 even a night, can end up being $2,000 every 10 days. That's $6,000 a month. That gets very expensive when you're on the road. So this is a treat occasionally that we might give to ourselves, but it isn't something. I wouldn't want to spend $6,000 a month for a room and a shower, which is what you get in a hotel, right?
And anyway, we're staying in a very special hotel.
Special hotel.
We learned about from there.
Yes, we're staying somewhere particularly sentimental to us.
So Mandy says Red Hill to go with my red hair. That's talking about the Red Hill Brewery.
It's a great brewery, small independent brewery in Red Hill, in the outer sort of Dandenongs, towards the Dandenongs, a little bit outside. We have a really great independent brewery scene, a bit like in San Diego and on the west coast of the US. There's a lot, and actually, I think all over the US now, there's a great independent brewery.
Beers.
The craft beers,
Yes.
yeah. We also have that.
Particularly
Melbourne's got great craft beers.
Victoria. So Goonlove says, what type of food have you been eating lately?
A lot of kotu. And kotu a lot, which is basically, if you've ever seen in Sri Lanka, they've got like two blades, a little bit like scrapers we would use for scraping up dough, and they sort of chop up the roti bread. So they chop it up and they put all sorts of spices and flavors, and they can serve it with the one we particularly like is a masala kotu, which has got loads of flavor and spices inside it, and they serve it with egg, cheese kotu, chicken kotu, mutton kotu, beef kotu. So it's like a sort of rice dish, but made with chopped up roti breads. And I imagine, to be honest, well, no, I don't imagine, I know this would have originally come from using up old rotis. So back in the day, you know, mums and that would have got a certain amount of rotis at the end of a meal, or restaurants maybe, but I suspect it was families that started this tradition, taking rotis, chopping them up into sort of shredded pieces, and then mixing them up into a big sort of mishmash of flavors and things, serving it with some meat and sauces. That would have been the origins of kotu. Absolutely, there's no doubt in my mind. That's where all of these sort of bubble and squeak type recipes come from. And now it's just become synonymous with Sri Lankan cuisine. Everybody loves kotu. It's an afternoon, sort of late afternoon, I think, pretty much, mainly. So it's a late meal, late afternoon, evening meal.
They don't start till about 6:30.
Hoppers, we had hoppers.
Yes, I did put up an Instagram and Facebook
Did you?
post on the hoppers. And people have
Follow us on Instagram. We had some beautiful egg hoppers,
They were really
which are
delicious.
basically like a fermented batter that's put into a pancake, but it's done in a bowl-shaped pancake.
Usually coconut milk, isn't it?
Coconut milk flavors in there. If it's a really good one, it'll have like coconut milk, and then they break an egg into that. So it's if you have egg hoppers. Lovely, delicious. And then often that's served with some curries and spices and sambal, maybe some coconut sambal if you're lucky, which is grated up. So all this is going to feature in Steve's tuk-tuk, something, in whatever you decide to call it. So basically, you know that.
So Ashan says, have you gone north to Jaffna?
Just saying, the girls say they got so many memories in this hotel. I just heard the young girls saying they had so many memories, because this used to, and that's the way Michelle and I feel. We've got so many memories of this hotel. That's why we come here. Sorry, what was that question?
Ashan says, have you gone north to Jaffna?
Not yet. No, we might not have time. We've been to Trinco, but we.
Some videos going up soon.
Yeah, we went to Trincomalee. I'm going to have this bit of pickle.
Manor is rarely visited by tourists. I don't know where Manor is.
I know manna, but I can't pinpoint it. Do you like the salmon by any chance?
Just a little bit.
Any more questions there, Michelle?
You've got a mouthful now.
Okay, we're both going to have a mouthful. You talk amongst yourselves.
Throw me some questions while I finish my mouthful.
Oh, a little bit
So
of...
Mandy says it's noon here in Michigan, USA. I think Mandy's just a little bit behind the actual live chat, but that's fine. We don't mind where you are in the live chat.
Mandy was saying the street scenes were really overwhelming, I think. Was it Mandy that was saying to me the other day?
Yes.
The noise and the buzz of walking around the streets here in... Oh, opening up again.
Back up again.
But Mandy, that is what it's like here. I mean, I can't... It's an assault on the ears, the smell senses, the tastes, everything is... It's an amazing place to be, and I think you'll enjoy the series. As we get out of Colombo, the city centre, things are going to get more chilled, more relaxed. And has anyone? How many numbers are sort of in? Is it?
Mine's not up to date.
Okay.
Gordon says, Goodlove says, what is wasabi?
Wasabi is this is. I'll tell you what, Goodlove. It's a 5-star hotel, so this might be wasabi. Well, it might be, but the way they've made the actual little pieces of tuna, I can see the chefs actually shape those pieces of rice, and think horseradish, basically. But quite often, if you buy it in the UK, I know Gordon's in the UK. If you buy it in the UK, and quite often in Australia for that matter, it is actually horseradish. If you have it in a fancy restaurant, or you have it in Japan, it's very similar. It's a root vegetable, but it really burns. It's like a hot mustard, but it's closer to horseradish.
Makes your eyes water. But the reason why they don't use real wasabi is because it loses its flavour as soon as you grate it, and I think the flavour goes very, very quickly, so they can't store it. So they use horseradish, don't they? And colour it green.
So almost everywhere you buy it around the world, it's a cheaper version of horseradish. Wasabi itself, the root has to be grown in like moving spring water.
There's somewhere in the UK that does it. We'll watch the programme.
No, in Australia as well they grow it. Wasabi in
moving water.
In Tasmania, I think somebody grows it.
Yes.
So it has to be in moving water. Wasabi roots, a little bit like a ginger root, but it grows very well hydroponically. And if you get... Okay, let me just show you, Gordon. You get the smallest amount, just like that, on your, like a pea-sized piece, and put that in your mouth. Oh, that's a little bit mild. That's actually a little bit nutty. Oh no, it hits. So it hits the back. I would say this could be actually fresh wasabi. It's got a little more texture. So I've got a little bit of pickled ginger there, and a little bit of wasabi. Quite a bit of wasabi.
Yeah, Mandy says, gotta go, to be safe.
All right, Mandy.
Thanks for joining us, Mandy. We will. Look out for the series. It's coming soon. What? He says the wasabi.
So it's burning right at the top of your nose and clears your nose instantly.
You like wasabi peas and things like that, don't you?
I love it. Anything when you eat that hurts.
But even the stuff that you get in the supermarkets,
it's great.
It is what wasabi is.
Yeah, it is.
It's a similar taste.
So, any more questions? Everybody got the gist of the announcement? Excuse me, the wasabi's still playing a little bit. I'll be with you in a minute. Any questions?
Is it mixing nicely with the beer?
I'm going to use it to...
Unless I've missed any. If I've missed your question, just ask it again. I'm happy to read it out.
So, the great news is the whole Sri Lankan experience is going to move up a notch to this amazing tuk-tuk adventure. We're going to be able to get off the beaten track. We're going to be able to go wherever we want to. One of the problems when you go by taxi or train or bus, you're very much restricted to that line between point A and point B. And then when you arrive in a place, it's hard then to sort of go off and explore. So now we have our own tuk-tuk. As of this weekend, we can set off and we can film the adventure and share with you everything that's going on. And hopefully everything's going to be just amazing. I'm going to film heaps and heaps. I'm going to try and film every single day, but I won't be able to upload every day because of, you know, we're traveling. But I am going to try and keep things fairly as quick as possible. So if you see me in an area, I probably am in that area. So anyone in Sri Lanka, reach out to us, you know, suggest ideas to us. We're happy to hear. We've got about 5 or so episodes from the last week or 10 days that have to go up before we can start the tuk-tuk adventure. So although I might be filming every single day, I'll probably only be able to put it up every second day. All right?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So it is going to eventually be a little bit behind itself, but it'll be fairly current. So if somebody in Sri Lanka says, you should go up to this coffee plantation and try this amazing coffee and cook with a chef on this place or do something here, we can probably
just
find a way of doing
it.
it.
And tell us where it is. And, and we'll see what we can do.
All right. So that's the news. Are we?
the news.
Any questions before we go?
Nothing's come in. They've all been very quiet. They're just listening nicely.
Any lurkers in there want to say hello? Anybody? Any friends of ours lurking?
Yes,
Want a
just-
little
you can
hello?
just say hi.
Come on, out you come. Come and say. Any questions we need to ask, Michelle?
No.
People like in Sri Lanka, what I've put up so far? We've done a little bit of the protests, but I'm not going to focus on that because I want to move it into the more positive side of Sri Lanka. And there's nothing not positive about the protest, but I don't want you just to think the only thing going on here is
The Dimut
protest.
says hi.
Dimut?
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get in the kitchen and do a bit of cooking as well on this trip.
We don't
So,
know.
yeah, I'm
We
pretty
don't know
sure
what it's
that.
going to be. It's
No.
just, we're going south, round, down, up through the park.
Now, my drink's a stout, lime stout. What did you have? Do you remember?
It was a sunset, sort of tropical something with
yeah.
ice cream.
So there you go.
Non-alcoholic.
It's a mocktail. It's a mocktail. But it's actually a mango, pineapple. I think it's got all sorts of, all the tropical fruits in there with ice cream. All right. So we're gonna if everyone's happy, we're gonna sign off now and get on. We've got a little bit more food coming, which I'm not gonna have down here. I'm gonna have it upstairs
Back up to the restaurant.
with the
Listen to good
disco.
music.
But literally we couldn't do up there. Normally in this restaurant upstairs, there's a pianist playing a little bit of music, which I could have got away with, but there's a whole band up there, a whole
There's a guitarist
ensemble
and a drum.
and drums
And we thought,
and it was like, you can't hear a darn thing. All right.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. And look out for the ceilings.
Share the love. We'll be on the road soon, and I think I think we're going to have a ball. Hopefully, you're going to have a ball too. Take care. Love to you all. See you next time.
Bye.